Ford looks like they're going to be getting serious about EVs. No, this time they're super serious, you guys, for real. But they've announced a kind of a big partnership with BYD for the commercial side. I'm being joined by Jan this week, who's going to be giving us some great insights, I hope. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So I don't know if you saw the big news, but yeah, it turns out Ford hasn't given up entirely just yet. Pretty exciting stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, they were already at it, and now yet they're at it again. I hope this time they're gonna succeed with that.
So there's different battery companies around the world. The biggest is BYD, and rounding out the top 10, you've got the likes of Panasonic, CATL, LG.
Oh, I think it's cattle. No, it's pronounced cattle.
Is it pronounced cattle? All right.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard both. So
really? Okay.
I have heard people call it that. And then you've got SK Innovations is at like number 6 or 7. And that's the one that Ford was really trying to partner with. Everybody's dance cards were full. They were looking for someone who was willing to do a partnership with them. And I feel like SK Innovations might have gotten a little burnt on it because they keep scaling back their EV ambitions. Do you really want me to build this $2 billion factory for you if you're not going to buy the batteries? And we're in a contract that says I can't sell them to someone else? So that's tricky.
I think SDK is Samsung also. Is that included there?
I don't know if I've seen it listed separately. Samsung is, I think, the biggest provider who is not currently selling batteries to Tesla. So Samsung is very serious. My only concern with Samsung is, and I don't know if you know this, but their old cell phone batteries are incredibly failure prone. MKBHD made a video where he had heard rumors of old Samsungs getting puffy batteries. So he went into his display area where he has all his old phones and he had to remove because like 3 of them had already popped. It's like, I'm not burning my house down. I'm not going to do that. That's not worth it. But I haven't heard in terms of cylindrical batteries if that's an issue. So let's look at this BYD article we've got here. There's some interesting points in it. So they've secured a deal with not Ford and GM, but with BorgWarner, who is a very large auto supplier. I don't know if are you familiar with them?
No.
Oh, okay. They're huge. They're absolutely huge. But this is not for personal vehicles, but for commercial vehicles. On the next one here, you'll see that they've signed the deal, not with Ford or GM, but the supplier itself. BorgWarner, their battery unit, FinDreams, under the deal, Auto Supplier will be the only non-original equipment manufacturer with rights to localize BYD blade batteries for commercial vehicles. What do you know what the advantage is for LFP batteries? Because these are lithium iron phosphate we're talking about, not the traditional high nickel cobalt kind of batteries. Do you know what the big advantage of an LFP battery is in a commercial application, like a delivery van?
Is it because of the charging, like the way the charging works, that you can charge it to 100%?
Yeah, you know what your real range is. You don't have to baby the battery. You don't have to keep it between 20 and 80 to prolong the life of the vehicle. You can go, don't go under 10%. That's stressful and a little bit stressful to the battery, but you can go 10 to 100% every single day. Your range is your range. And for longevity, LFP batteries appear to have a longer total number of cycles, greater number of cycles before they begin to deteriorate and fail. So the supplier will be the preferred one for Americas, Europe, and other regions in Asia Pacific. So what I see is BYD does not have a lot of commercial vehicles out there. And they're saying, okay, look, they can still make deals directly with manufacturers, and they can still make their own commercial vehicles. But for third-party suppliers, FinDreams gets the full license. What do you think of that?
Yes, so they kind of shielded them, or BYD had a better deal kind of in that sense, because then they can just have the factory as an investment and then have one customer, like a fixed customer. I mean, they will be selling those anyway, like hotcakes, the things they're going to produce there. And that's why they kind of secured this, because if this was just the only deal, like with the supplier, I don't think that they're going to send maybe a smartphone battery over just for reference, but not a factory. They're not going to build. Yeah.
Sure. And this is great for BYD because they're licensing the technology, the chemistry, the design of the equipment, and the factory. So this isn't a big drain on BYD. Mostly what they're getting is money, really. They're getting the ability to sell to commercial customers in ways that their current funding wouldn't allow them to. Their current factories can't keep up with. And if we're just licensing it to you, you guys can do great. You can screw up. You can do whatever you want. We know our chemistry works. We know our process and procedures work. So that's kind of a good thing. On Reddit, I encountered a very skeptical person, very angry that 4680 ramp is going so badly. Tesla should be making 100% of their own batteries by now. And I don't recall that being part of the Battery Day presentation. What I heard was, we will continue buying as many batteries as all of you guys can build for the foreseeable future, but we're also going to be making our own batteries, which will give us some leverage in terms of pricing. If you want to try and gouge us on prices, we will be buying from everybody. So that's
true.
Exciting. Now, I know you've got a SR Plus, is that right? A Shanghai-built rear-wheel drive.
I have a Model 3 Highland from Shanghai, rear-wheel drive, so standard range, and also with LFP batteries,
With the LFPs. So you've got either the BYD blades or the CATL batteries, would be my guess.
Yeah. I have to check. Maybe I just look under the car. I think you can already see all the batteries hanging there, like honeycombs, like,
Yeah, like
that's how it works.
like fresh fruit. That's where batteries grow, is on the vine.
Yeah, that's true.
They have a lot of opportunities there. Well, the neat thing is, we know that some were shipping with the BYD blades, and we know some have shipped with the CATL. I think I've got another slide here that shows from on X, Luca. Luca is great. If you want to know anything about mega castings and giga castings, not just at Tesla, but anywhere in the world, he is your guy. He is, I mean, that is his, what Jordan Giesecke is to batteries, Luca is to giga castings. So he's pointing out here that there is a structural battery made with LFPs, made with the BYD blade batteries. Now, this hasn't been fact checked. I don't know if this is correct, but that appears to be the case. So that means Tesla can use any batteries from anybody at any time and make it work. As long as it fits in the floor, it works. So that's very exciting, I think.
Yeah, it is. And also I wanted to add something here, because I remembered still the discussion when BYD announced that they're going to do the blade batteries. It was similar timing that okay, we have the 4680s announcement, and then like a few months or even a year, maybe half a year passed. I'm not recalling correctly now, but I still remember how it was perceived in the media, how they told, like, BYD competition, oh God, what would happen with the 4680 form factor? It doesn't make sense. Tesla is failing hard. Nobody guessed in the news outlets that Tesla will buy blade batteries as well. They're going to buy every good technology that makes sense, that they have the, it's just another form factor of LFP batteries they already built into their cars. And of course, they're going to take them. And it's not a competition. Also, the CEO of BYD also announced the tight kind of a tight partnership with Tesla, because they are a huge customer of BYD as well. That's something to keep in mind here, I think.
BYD would love to sell 5 million, 10 million, 100 billion cars. But in the meantime, they have more batteries than they have cars to accept them. They would be crazy not to sell them. And as EV adoption expands, it makes it easier for BYD to sell their cars. They could not go it alone. They couldn't. There wouldn't be a charging network. There wouldn't be any of the support you need around it. There might not even be enough mining to go around. But with everybody doing it together, they can see that everybody wins. And a
Mm-hmm.
reminder, when it comes to a lot of people think, well, Tesla should be doing everything themselves. No, that's not how it works. If you look at when I talk to a parts supplier, it's somebody who's supplying parts for probably 5 or 10 different manufacturers. And if I talk to 3 parts suppliers, I've probably got the entire Western supply chain covered in every manufacturer covered in one part or another.
Mm-hmm.
And for that matter, we've seen companies where they'll buy an entire car and just rebadge it. There's a great little 7-seat station wagon that Toyota sells in Mexico, and it's cheap. It's like $12,000, $15,000, something like that. It's not a Toyota. It just says Toyota. They bought it from,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, somebody else because it's cheap, and Toyota already has a distribution network in Mexico. So great, throw on $500, $1,000, and now we've got a partnership that actually works, selling an entire. Well, shouldn't Toyota just make their own car?
Yeah, it's the same with some of the like for example the Toyotas. There are some models that are similar with other brands. Like for example, we had like this brand was failing in Germany. Opel, for example, was also a car brand, a smaller one. That is not as popular in Germany. They didn't pull through, kind of, but they're still there, but small. But they also, for example, have the same. It's the same car with a kind of different styling at some points,
Little
but
bit.
I think it's also like those partnerships, and this is also they have a Subaru from Japan there as well, and Daihatsu and stuff like this. They share this same car platform, kind of. That's something also like an example where something like this happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Chevy Sprint was the Geo Metro, and for that matter, the BMW Z3 and the Toyota
Mm-hmm.
Supra are
Mm-hmm.
very similar cars made in the same factory by
Mm-hmm.
Magna. Well, what? Hey, it's just how the business works. So,
Yeah.
in summary, on the BYD deal with Ford, I see this as a win for Ford. I see it as a win for BYD. And really, I see it as a win for all the customers as well, because SK Innovations is still small and
Mm-hmm.
BYD is as big as it gets in batteries. So I think this is a winning combination all around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what do you guys think in the comments? Did we miss something? What did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Leave it so we know. Everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual things. Maybe head over to Tesla Fix, see what he's up to. I don't know. Don't. Whatever you do, don't do that.
If you hate my stuff, please don't subscribe. Don't.
It only encourages him,
become
you
a
guys.
channel member.
Yeah.
No, don't listen to that guy. I'm gonna come over and careful, Brian.
Yeah. Yep. So everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual things. You know what you're doing. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, perhaps even in May in Austria at the X Takeover, where Jan and I will both be guests.
Yes.